Kyle Shanahan was the talk of the weekend. First, he dunked on Adam Schefter so hard, windmill, reverse 360 in his face, Adam Schefter, and then he wasn't done. He just wanted to break the internet one more time with the viral video of him. First shot, apparently, according to Joe Staley, hitting a pizza oven from across the street down in like La Jolla or Del Mar. And you had epiphany. I feel like this video kind of put Shanahan's entire personality in perspective for you, did it not?
Yeah, a little bit. So first, the video was pretty sick, right? It was pretty cool. He's got his shades on. He's got a sick hat on. I mean, he's got a great hat collection, by the way. Big fan of his hat collection. Yeah. And he's wearing some. He's sporting a little dad bod, but he's got some nice, cool swim trunks on, and he's ready to go. He's eyeing it. He looks all focused, and then he just flicks. He steps up. I mean, his throwing motion looked a little funny. I'd love to see some quarterbacks break down his throwing motion. The ball definitely looked like it wasn't spinning as a spiral. It was wobbly in there, but he stepped up and he put it right on, and he was all hyped up. But my epiphany was that, like, the reason, so I've been accused of liking Kyle Shanahan too much. And you know what? I think it's a fair accusation because I'll readily first admit, like, I do like Kyle Shanahan too much. Like,
I saw you tweeted that he's your favorite member in the organization. I saw you tweet that.
He's my favorite member in the organization. He's my favorite coach I've ever had in coaching for the 49ers, observing. So by far, both of those two things. My epiphany was on why I like him so much.
Yes.
He's my age. He's a 40-year-old man who acts like a 20-year-old.
Yes, he does.
I was just thinking in my head, how many 40-year-old men would be sitting on a roof trying to chuck a football from one roof to another? I was just thinking because obviously I'm 21 years old. My only example to look upon this is my parents. There's no way my father is thinking that the best idea when he's 40 years old, is married with 3 kids, or he has 2 kids, but 3 kids, is to throw a football all the way across from one roof to another. He's thinking more about the risk, like what Joe Staley mentioned. He's thinking about those type things, like, oh, I could hit a kid. Oh, I might break something. Oh, this is not the most responsible thing to do. But me, on the other hand, I'm hanging out with my friends. We're having a good time. Everybody's chilling. You know, we see a football. Yeah, that's something stupid like that. That's something we might do. And hey, Jesse, then I'm not saying anything then. But my point is, I that was kind of my epiphany. Like, he's super cool. Like, for a 40-year-old guy, he's really a cool 25-year-old. And I think that's like, I don't mean this as saying it as a derogatory thing, because I think it's part of why I look at him and say, wow, he's so cool.
And part of why he relates so well to his team.
That's what I was going to say. I think that's why he gets along so well with his players, because he's really relatable. Like Emmanuel Sanders talked about it, right? Emmanuel Sanders came from Denver with Vic Fangio, who I'm assuming Vic Fangio is as old school as it gets. Grant, you've been around him. He seems to be a pretty old school guy, right?
Yeah.
Very traditional, regimented, structured, very like that. And then he said he walked in and he sees the head coach wearing Yeezys and blasting music and all that, and it changes the entire thing, because it's like, wow, I'm chilling with a friend, but we're also going to be really good at playing football together and all of that.
It's like we speak the same language.
Right.
We speak the same language, yeah.
So I understand, like, now why players like him so much. I just thought it was odd. I'm going to be honest with you. I just thought it was odd because, one, I don't think we'll ever see any – like, I think the furthest we'll see Cliff Kingsbury go is with the house and chilling and all of that. And then McVay said that he got sideline passes. He asked McVay for a sideline pass for a European model he met before their Week 16 game on the Flying Coach podcast. McVay said he called him up the night before the game and asked for a sideline pass so he could bring her on the field. I think that's as far as Kingsbury would go. I think that's as far as McVay would go. I don't think we'll see any other head coach in the NFL attempting to chuck a football from one ceiling to another. Frankly, I don't think we'll see many quarterbacks even trying to do something like that.
You know who else would have done it? And this kind of reminds me of, and I think what we're basically saying with Kyle Shanahan, he's a little bit of a case of arrested development in a nice way. But you know who else was? Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, 100%.
Like if Kyle Shanahan's 25, Jim Harbaugh was 12. Jim Harbaugh was 12. Like, everything was like a competition for Jim Harbaugh. Like, who can get to the, you know what I mean?
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead.
No, it goes beyond that, right? Because like at least Kyle Shanahan carries himself like the adult in the room when he comes to pressers and when he's shaking other coaches' hands. He carries himself with the utmost professional.
Jim was way younger. Jim had middle school tendencies.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was in middle school when Jim Harbaugh was the coach of the 49ers. Yes. He answered questions, like any question he didn't like, the way I would snap at like my parents if they said something to me like you didn't like. Like, why did you do bad on the test? Because I did so. Could you have done better?
Right, exactly.
Well, Jim Harbaugh.
The social graces of a 13-year-old.
My God.
Jim, I love you. But yes, so it's funny to think of the Niners having these coaches who are kind of stuck in childhood a little bit. It's definitely one of the reasons that Harbaugh related so well to his players, and I think Kyle as well. But at the same time, you watch, you're like, this is a little different than most of the other coaches I've seen.
So one thing I will say, and I think that's why I think Kyle has lasted a little better, is because I think Kyle comes across as just cool, and you want to hang out with him. Jim Harbaugh is the guy that gets annoying after a little while. Like, yeah, he's pretty cool.
Dude,
and then he's like, dude, we don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like, you're just too much. You're just too much.
That's fair.